All right, everybody. Good evening. Coming at you guys just a little bit late with this one, but we've got some more corners to talk about here. We're still in the second round, so we're still doing pretty good in terms of talking about guys that are covetable. Still guys that I think there will be a lot of interest in, especially this first one. But yeah, these are the kinds of guys that maybe we're hoping will be there at 64 if we're lucky. Maybe you reach at 32. I don't really think you would reach at 32 for these guys, but they're covetable. So we're going to start with DAngelo Ponds here, one of the most interesting, controversial players in this draft. Indiana Hoosier, 22 years old when the season starts. He's very small. He's not even 5'9", 182 pounds, not even 29.5-inch arms. Hands are big, so that's a little bit odd, right? Everything else is kind of small, but he's got giant hands. Only did one thing at the combine, but he did it so incredibly well that it paints a picture of someone that is a very good athlete, and he needs to be a very good athlete if he's going to have success at not even 5'9". Big boards, they pretty much all put him in the second round. Aggregate puts him in the mid to late second round. A lot of production the last couple of years for Indiana. We're talking about almost 120 tackles, 5 interceptions, 20 passes defensed. So big time ball production. He has gotten to play extra games because Indiana won the national title last year, obviously. Allows just barely over 50% completion. Just slightly over 50% completion over the last 2 years. The yards, I mean, actually really good. He's allowed like 5 yards per target combined over the last 2 seasons. Really good PFF grades as well. So DAngelo Ponds, the positives. Great speed. He's a great athlete just in general. He can go fast in a straight line, but he's also got the change of direction skills and explosive movement ability. He's not afraid of playing physically. He's somebody that is willing to get his hands dirty and go through traffic and go make a tackle. He's got great ball skills. The fact that he's got this many plays on the ball in his career tells you what you need to know. He really, really understands zone. He understands routes. He understands spacing. He understands how to pass things off. He really understands zone defense really well. He's a great tackler form-wise. He's very cerebral in how he reads plays and reads routes. So very smart player. And he's got great timing at the catch point of when to go make a break on the ball and when to get physical at the last second to make sure you win the exchange. So a lot of great stuff with DAngelo Ponce. There's no doubt about it. But is he really going to be an outside corner at the NFL level? Not even 5'9". This is probably smaller than DJ Reed. I'm pretty sure that he is. It's a little bit hard to imagine him playing outside at the NFL level, and he really hasn't played slot in his career. So maybe he just slides inside at the NFL level, but hasn't done it yet. So we don't know. And I'm not sure if it's a clean projection or not. I think he can do it, but if he can't play outside, that does hurt the value, even if he can slide inside. I don't think he's going to be nearly as good at tackling and run stopping at the NFL level where everybody's bigger and more athletic. His hips are a little bit segmented when he's trying to flip to chase vertically. And his click and close is not as rapid as you would like. Like, I think he understands the things he needs to understand, but there's a little bit of a hitch in closing. So I get the appeal. I really do. I know some people really like Pawns. I think he's got a chance to prove the doubters wrong. He does. I would not shock me if he ends up being a good outside corner, but this is so extreme. I don't know if I can bet on it. And he doesn't really have any slot experience, so I'd go early third. I can't do the second round thing here. I'm sorry. I mean, if we get him at 64, then I think that's fine. Like, the difference between 64 and the early third is basically nothing, but I would also kind of be like, I'm kind of confused as to where he fits in here. I don't know how this is going to work. So, I don't know. That's a tough one. Keith Abney the second is going to be our next guy here, Arizona State corner. I've seen him mocked to the Seahawks multiple times by big publications. 21 years old. Another kind of smaller guy, 5'10", 187 pounds, 30-inch arms. He's undersized for sure. Big hands, again, for whatever we care about that. Some second-round grades. ESPN has him in the 4th. They really don't like him. Aggregate has him in the late 2nd. And you can see that the numbers, almost 100 tackles over the last 2 years. 5 interceptions, 21 passes defense, so ball skills for days. Great season he just had, allowed 320 yards on 72 targets, really, really efficient. That's like what? That's close to 4 yards per target. Way better than last year, and last year was not bad. Really good PFF grade last year, 86.3. So the positives with Abney, he's really good in press, tough and physical in press, uses footwork and jabs to really delay releases. He's cerebral in how he reads routes, and he waits for opportunities really well to make a break on the ball and go make a play on it. He can monitor a quarterback and monitor the receiver routes at the same time. He's good at not getting too distracted by one or the other. Great ball skills, always making plays at the catch point. He's a good tackler as well. And I'm pretty confident that if he needs to slide inside, he can. That may be where this ends up. But I get the sense that he'll be able to do it. Now, sometimes he gets a little too physical and he draws flags. I do think that's a concern at the next level. His size might make his boundary skills moot at the NFL level. I don't know if he's going to be able to hack it at 5'10", not even 190, 30-inch arms. Obviously more likely than Ponds, but it's still not great. He's over-aggressive. He bites on fakes. He bites on double moves. He's not really that fast. I think that if you stack him vertically, he's going to really struggle to get back into the play. And he does sometimes get stuck on blockers when trying to come up and run support, and it's hard to shed when you have shorter arms. So, frustrating because I like so much about Abney, but he's in this kind of smaller body that might really limit what he can do. It's not as extreme though, right? Like you look at him and you're like, okay, there are players out there that are like this physically, but still excel on the outside. It's not impossible. So late second, I think the aggregate has it about right. Late second round pick for me. All right, one more guy for this video, and then we are done for the day. Keionte Scott. Keionte Scott of the Miami Hurricanes. Big outlier here. He's already going to be 25 when the NFL season starts. Very intriguing player here. 5'11" and a quarter. So the height is actually not bad. Decent amount of weight. 193. 31 and 3/8 inch arms. So that's about average for a corner over the last 25 years, 26 years anyway. Big hands. So he's got some size. But here's the thing. Keionte Scott is a nickel corner almost exclusively. So even though he's bigger and longer than the previous couple guys, this is the guy who actually has almost all of his corner experience at nickel. So it's a little bit funky. Most of the big boards have him in the second. Draft Network has him in the third. Aggregate puts him in the back end of the second. A lot of good numbers over the last couple years. There's some stuff here, by the way, that isn't captured. He's got a lot of tackles for loss. He's also got sacks. So that has to factor in here. 64 tackles last year, 2 picks, 5 passes defensed. Coverage numbers aren't the best, but they're fine. They're not egregiously bad. 56 targets, 332 yards. Really good PFF grade, by the way. Almost a 90. So I do, I get the appeal here. There's obvious appeal here. This is the best run supporting corner in this draft and about as good as you can get for a run supporting corner. He is a bear against the run. He is like an extra linebacker on the field. Maybe even more so than a guy like Nicky Manwari, and that's saying a lot. But this guy plays the run, and this guy comes up in run support like you've almost never seen. He's also a very smooth mover in open space. He can change direction. He can break down to tackle. He accelerates really fast. He gets up to top speed almost instantaneously. Very rarely does he allow extra yards after contact when he's coming up to make a tackle. And he's the best blitzing corner in this draft by a pretty wide margin. So this is a very, very particularly skilled player. However, he's a nickel. And look, he has the measurements to maybe play on the outside, right? This is not the end of the world. But at the same time, it's like, if he didn't do it in college, can he do it in the pros? Are you taking away the thing that makes him the most interesting if you move him to the outside? I think the answer is probably yes. He's also not really a great route reader. He doesn't break on routes with the most urgency. He panics when beaten and struggles to get back in the play. He's not really a good man corner. Movement-wise, he is capable of it, but he's not really that good in man, and he's already 25, so he's kinda close to his ceiling, so he's not really that good in coverage. He's great as a run supporter, and he will wrap up really well after he allows a catch, but for the most part, he's gonna allow the catch. He's not a great cover corner. It's a little like what we had with Eman Worry this last year, but the thing is Eman Worry was much younger than Keionte Scott is now. Eman Worry can get better at that kind of stuff, and he's also much bigger and more physical and more intimidating, probably a better athlete just overall, even with the size advantage. Scott's already 25 when the season starts. So I like him a lot, but he's not a complete player. You have to be real about what you're giving up if you have him on the field. And we're pretty stacked at slot corner with guys like Eman Worry, and then Witherspoon can slide inside as well if you need him. I just don't see it. I think early third is fine for Keionte Scott. I would take him in the early third if you need a player like this, and not every team does. So that's what I can say about that. Keionte Scott, and that'll do it for this video. See you guys soon. Go Hawks. More corners should be coming up tomorrow.